All right, guys, we're just over 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. I want to know how excited you guys are. Scale it from 1 to 10, 1 being not excited at all, 10 being incredibly excited. How could it not be a 10 with the number 3 overall pick? Let us know, and let's dive into today's show. I'm Harrison Graham from Chat Sports, and on Patriots Today, we're going to dive into Brandon Aiyuk. Are the Patriots recruiting him to New England? And Mel Kiper 2-round mock draft. We're going to react to that as well. Let's dive into it here. A little aggregation from Savage Sport. Interesting per Evan Silva on the Jayden Daniels meeting with the Commanders. Remember, we discussed this. Daniels is rumored to be intent on playing for New England after Daniels' meetings with Washington didn't go as smoothly. Could that mean Daniels to New England? And then Jayden Daniels, I believe, quote tweeted that tweet. Yes, that is correct. And said, looking forward to my upcoming visits. Glad to be home. Now, I think a couple of things here. One, I think the glad to be home is in reference to he's been traveling, the combine, pro day, all this stuff. Now he's chilling for a bit. I don't think he means glad to be home as in Foxborough because, he doesn't know where he's going yet. But he didn't deny the quote either in the report of the meeting with Washington didn't go well. Now, I think there's a couple things to mention here. Number one, his top 30 visit with the Commanders hasn't happened yet. So is that meeting, if that report is accurate, is that from the pro day? Is that from the combine? That's a little bit unclear. His top 30 with Washington is actually next week. But maybe Jayden Daniels really wants New England. Maybe the report of him not liking Adam Peters is true. Maybe there's something to that because he's had a couple of opportunities to shoot that down now in the last couple of months, and he has not done it. There was a report a month ago where Peters that Peters thought he was a 5th-round pick, and he wasn't happy about that, yada, yada, yada. And then this report's been out there for a couple of days now, and he has not dispelled it, whereas he did dispel a different report about him not wanting to go to New England. So is there something to that? I don't know. Seems like there might be. And then, yes, you got to love the IG game. Adding Brandon Aiyuk, man. Brother, man, you've been it's that last one here rocking. Could they team up in New England? Listen, I know I've been on the Drake Maye train, but if it's Jayden Daniels and Brandon Aiyuk or just Drake Maye, I'll take the combination, the former duo that used to ball out at Arizona State together. You got more IG love here as well. Come to New England, Brandon Aiyuk. This is going to be interesting. Kendrick Bourne getting in on the action. We all know what the deal is. The Patriots need a number 1 receiver. They're in position to draft a quarterback at number 3 overall. Could Jayden Daniels kind of slither his way to New England and reunite with Brandon Aiyuk? It's a lot of fun to think about. That combination kind of revamps that offense overnight, especially if Daniels hits. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Should the Patriots trade for Brandon Aiyuk? Type Y for yes, type in for no. You guys know where we sit. We would love to get Aiyuk to New England. Let us know what you guys think. Trade idea we're throwing together, number 34 overall and a 4th-round pick next year for Aiyuk. You're obviously not going to trade 3 overall, so you're going to have to package it around 34. Does that get it done? If it does, I'm not even hesitating. I'm pulling the trigger on that trade right now if I am the New England Patriots. And again, the most recent report was that Aiyuk and San Francisco are not close to terms on a new deal. And that's a bit surprising, but maybe it shouldn't be because they've already paid Debo and they got big contracts all over that team over there in the Bay. I know this player's ascending. He's getting better every single year in the NFL. The numbers show that. You see him right there on your screen. Sure, he had 3 less catches this year, but look how more explosive he got. 18 yards per catch versus 13 the year before. I mean, this kid can really go. And if you put him in New England, he's your 1, Bourne's your 2, Douglas is your slot, KJ's kind of your number 4 who can play slot or outside. And then you got guys like Jalen Reagor who could be a special teamer. Tyquan Thornton and Juju can maybe battle for that final wide receiver spot. Maybe you still add someone in the draft. If he's truly available, that's something you really got to do, especially if the centerpiece of the deal is only 34. Because you're getting a fringe top 10 NFL receiver for a second-round pick. I mean, and he's still young. So that's something that's too good of an opportunity to pass up, and I would love to see New England do it. Subscribe to the channel. Promise you this, if they trade for Brandon Aiyuk, we're going to cover it. We'll probably go live, but we'll at least make a video out of it regardless. We're going to cover every news item that's out there, every rumor that's being circulated around this team, and of course, the latest draft coverage as we are getting closer and closer, just 15 days away. So hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 11,000 on the channel. We would greatly appreciate it. All right, here's what's coming up. A 2-round mock draft from Mel Kiper Jr. of ESPN. Who does he have the Patriots taking, and how do we feel that those players fit in? We'll discuss, but first, we do have to tell you guys about our sponsor, Prize Picks, prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS to get a deposit match up to $100. Man, Boston sports right now. You got the Red Sox underway. You got the Bruins gearing up for the playoffs, same as the Celtics as well. Got a little 3-player entry in the NBA tonight. Bam Adebayo, he can knock down a 3. That's why it's a demon pick. If you hit, you can make more money there. We'll take the more. He'll knock one in from downtown. Luka Doncic, less than 30.5 points. Some chatter he could play some less minutes tonight since the Mavericks clinched the playoff spot last night. And then P.J. Washington, assuming Luka does play less, by the way, more than 11 points feels like a good option there as he's been pretty good the last couple of weeks. 3-player entry with the Demon pick, you get a little more than 5 times your entry. It's about 6 times your entry. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. You can win up to 100 times your entry with certain picks right now. Take advantage. Have fun. It's different every single day. It's unique. Choose more, choose less. They give you the stat projections, 2 to 6 player entries at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Okay, here was Mel Kiper's mock draft. He had Jayden Daniels going 2 to Washington. So Drake Maye at number 3 overall, which is still my preferred outcome when it's purely QB talk. Again, if Daniels helps you get Aiyuk, sure. But Drake Maye I like over Daniels. And then Keon Coleman, round 2 pick number 34, who I think is one of the more polarizing receivers in this draft. Let's first read what Mel Kiper had to say about Keon Coleman, and then I'll give my thoughts. He says, the Patriots depth chart at receiver needs to be beefed up if quarterback Drake Maye, who I projected to go to New England at 3, is going to succeed. The Pats ranked 29th in receiving yards by receivers last season at less than 2,000. Coleman doesn't have great speed, but he can win contested catches with his 6'3 frame. Had 11 touchdowns last season, 5 of which came on fade routes. And that is one area that he's as good as anyone in this draft. High pointing the football, contested catches, back shoulders, and he has to be because he doesn't consistently generate separation. These are my top 10. I think the top 3 across the board is pretty consistent. Some have Neighbors over Harrison, some have Adunze over Neighbors, but that top 3 is pretty sound league-wide. I like Brian Thomas and Adonai Mitchell as 4 and 5, and then I think after that is where you're going to see a lot of differentiating across the league. I like Xavier Legette the most out of the next group. Ladd McConkey is a good option as well. Xavier Worthy, if you want a pure burner, he's the best in the class. Troy Franklin can go also. And then Keon Coleman, different type of player, ran in the 4.5s, 4.6s, but his play speed is faster. He hit 20 miles per hour on his gauntlet drill at the NFL Combine. I would still go with a couple other options. Like I think Ladd McConkey in New England's a really good fit. I will say this, though. If you asked me, Harrison, who has the better chance of being a number 1 receiver in the NFL, Keon Coleman or Ladd McConkey? I'd probably say Coleman. So if you want to go with the higher upside guy, he's probably that. Legette, Mitchell, and Worthy were all off the board. So, Coleman or McConkey, Troy Franklin, I mean, I can't really super argue with this pick. I like guys who can separate. Coleman doesn't do that consistently, so that's a problem. So you really need a quarterback who can build that chemistry on those back shoulder throws. Can Drake Maye do that? I think he can. He's got the arm talent and ability to do it. That just takes time, building that chemistry. So different type of player, but one that I still think can have success in the National Football League. Who is your favorite round 2 wide receiver target? Like, who do you like in that range that the Patriots could maybe get? Let us know in the comment section down below your thoughts on that. You look at Coleman's past 2 years. Last year, kind of middling numbers in terms of catches and yards, but again, big red zone threat, strong hands, only a couple of drops. has big play potential, physical at the point of attack. He could do some different things. And again, when you look at his relative athletic score, a lot of red on the right. Like he's not super fast, he's not super quick, but he's physical, he's big, he's strong. He's a different type of player. It is what it is. I do wonder if some teams will put him in the slot to try and make him a big slot type of player. I still think he's better on the boundary, but I do wonder if they'll try and create some mismatches that way with his physicality. Again, the inability to separate is troubling to me. Can he improve as a route runner and get better there? Yeah, a little bit, but he's not going to turn into a 4-4 guy overnight. So that part of it, he's just going to have to learn how to win without. And, at decent amount of time in college, he was able to be successful. But, again, when you don't have these pure speed guys and you don't have excellent separation, a lot of it really does come down to catching contested balls and chemistry with the quarterback. Like, you really have to be sharp in that area on those back shoulders and stuff like that. So it just makes it a little tougher. It's more boom bust, if you will. All right, there you have it. Today's episode of Patriots Today by Chat Sports. If you have more Patriots news and rumors that you want to watch, go check out our channel. More content for you to watch. Subscribe, go to the content tab, and, of course, we'll be back tomorrow with another episode as well.